Welcome to Warhammer 40k lore in the Bible, where I pull from Warhammer 40k lore to help explain biblical lore. And today, we're going to be asking the question, can demons be destroyed? But before we get into the video, I do regular biblical videos on Mondays, and every Thursday is a Warhammer 40k lore in the Bible series. And if I've earned a like and subscription, please consider doing so. Alright, let's get started. So, anything that destroys a demon's essence will destroy it. As beings of pure entropic energy and emotion, it is only through the loss of this animating essence that a demon can truly be destroyed, its mind dissolving into the horrors and currents of the warp. This is from the Codex Chaos Demons 8th edition. Most commonly, demons can delete other demons. Demons do not feel fear. They do not feel anything that we might consider emotion. They are emotion. A demon is hate, desire, rage, all congealed into things that want nothing more than to burn the mortal world that created them. They don't fear any more than a fish drowns, but rules and rivalries run through every mote of their existence, unbreakable and undeniable. And because of that nature, there are things that even they cannot bear. There are things which, if they were mortal, would say terrify them. I could banish the demon, I could bind it for aeons, but both those were not threat enough. So instead, I was going to give this demon to another of its kind. I was going to let its essence be consumed by its antithesis. I was going to feed it to a demon of decay. Yummy. So this is from the Gates of Ruin. In seeing, now these parts right here I believe are from the guy, but the ones below it are from these excerpts. Okay. In seeing as a demonic essence is literally soul stuff, anything that destroys souls will also destroy demons. Also, I do want to say I am not a lore expert. Okay. I just want to get that out there as well. So souls are the energy of the warp. They don't exist in it. They are the warp. If water is made up of H2O molecules, the warp is made up of souls. You don't get H2O in water. The smallest indivisible fragment of warp is soul. Most human souls are that. Tiny grains temporarily attached to a body in real space. Excuse me. All smushed together with minimal effect. Some are bigger, larger chunks of warp. The souls of Eldari, or Psychers, which have more of a presence and make more of an impact on the surrounding souls. This stuff is not physical though, it's energy. It can be used to make a chaos god, turned into a demon, forged into a world. So Gav Thorpe, Abaddon, and the Warp. Broadly speaking, souls can be destroyed in one or two ways. Overwhelming psychic power, like the Emperor, Khorne, etc., or null fields. The former is mostly reserved for the really big shots, but the latter is surprisingly common, like blanks, for example. Squatimos was the first to be cast back into the warp. He was surrounded on three sides by the custodian guard and Guilliman's soldier sons, riddled so thoroughly with bolt rounds that there were more of his insides outside his body than within. He became weak. The Sisters of Silence moved in for the deletion. Alarmed at their approach, for their deleting him would bring the true sleepiness. Squatimos let out a mighty fart and decapitated himself with his own sword. Yikes. Gotta love them farts that don't want to come out. Anyways, sorry. Plague War, and certain bolters of the DAOT variety. A spray of explosives, psychoactive rounds incinerated the tightly packed mortals. Body and soul, each individual screaming into a pyre that burned across two realms. Aravane counted 25 men armed with stub pistols and wrenches. A second after he had counted them, they were gone. Every ripple and echo that suggested that they had ever existed eradicated. And even Erevein's edict recall struggled to conjure any details of their appearance, except that they had been 25 armed with stub pistols and wrenches. All right, this is from Lord of the First. And Necron pylons. Stay down, said Rostov. Do not run. If you get outside the emanation point and are exposed directly to the blast, it will annihilate your soul. If the engine does not come down on top of us, we have a chance. What's happening? Said Lacrante, I think that's how you say that. Xenos technology, my friend, said Antoniacio, or watch. The light emitted by the dark mechanic of machines was changing from an angry red to a cold, steady green. Silver lines spread out over the devices, eating into them like acid. Then he saw the silver was not consuming them, but reworking them, changing them to something else. Tendrils of silver spread across the ground from the machines, like the roots at first, then forming regular lines that spread and connected, linking the changing machine node to others, and infecting those too with ruthlessly regular circuit patterns. The black stone floor made a sound like cracking glass, and grooves appeared in the surface, spreading also, glowing the same cold green light. All right, now it's time to get to the biblical side of this. So, first we need to understand what are demons. And it's a misnomer that the fallen angels are the demons. Technically speaking, in the word of evil spirits, yes, but the demons that we think of are actually something different. And I'll show you here. So this is from the book of Enoch, chapter 15. Also, 1 Jude 1:14 through 16. It gives a nod to the prophecies of Enoch, and it pulls straight from the book of Enoch. So there's that. Okay. Verse 8. And now the giants, who were produced from the spirits and flesh, shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, and on the earth shall be their dwelling. So if you don't know, Genesis 6, the Watchers, or these sons of God, came down and, we'll just say, married women and made these giants. And also they did things with the animals, the plants, and everything else. So they were corrupting God's creation. And a lot of it was to stop Jesus from being born. But that's in Genesis 3:14, where it says, the seed of the woman, he will be from the seed of the woman, and he will bruise the seed of the serpent, his head. So if you hear that, what are you going to try to do? Stop them from being born, right? Okay. From produced, should be called evil spirits. Okay. Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies, because they are born from men, and from the holy watchers is their beginning and primal origin. They shall be evil spirits on the earth, and evil spirits shall they be called. So these Nephilim are the demons, once they get deleted. Okay. Now it's going to get even more interesting. On the surface, this seems like an innocent thing, just saying, hey, this guy's trying to delete me, right? But it gets a little deeper. And I'll show you. So Psalm 7:2. Lest he tear my soul like a lion, rending it in pieces. That's interesting. While there is none to deliver. Okay, and he's talking about this Cush, the words of Cush and Benjamin. Okay. This is Ezekiel 13:20. Gets even a little bit deeper here. Wherefore thus saith the Lord God, I'm against your pillows. These are the little voodoo dolls, right? Type things. And every culture has a different version of it, but it's pretty much the same thing. Wherewith ye there hunt the souls to make them fly. And I will tear them from your arms, and will let the souls go. Even the souls that ye hunt to make them fly. Okay. Where does this come from? All right, check this out. So it's the book of Enoch, chapter 69. Okay, let me find it. Okay, this is verse 12. And the fifth was named Castia. This is he who showed the children of men all the wicked smitings of spirits and demons. And then, of course, another thing there, but you two may not like that. It's right there. If you want to check it out. Which, by the way, that's where it comes from, folks. I'll just say that it may pass away, and the smitings of the soul, the bites of the serpent, and the smitings which befall through the noontide heat, and the son of the serpent, named Tabiet. That's interesting. I wonder who the son of the serpent is. But anyways, so we did that one. So you see there, they're being taught how to smite spirits and souls and stuff, right? All right, check this out. Psalm 63:9. But those that seek my soul to destroy it shall go into the lower parts of the earth. So they're not just seeking his deletion, right? They're seeking his soul. Interesting. Okay. And then, of course, we got Matthew 10:28. And fear not them which delete the body, but are not able to delete the soul. That's interesting. But rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell. Okay. So God has the ability to destroy both. And after Jesus came, it sounds like these people don't have the ability to do this anymore, right? Where I'm against your pillows wherewith ye hunt the souls to make them fly. Right? Jesus took that away. All right. So now we're going to get into some folklore here, okay? A soul eater is a folklore figure in the traditional belief systems of some groups, notably the Hausa of Nigeria. I think that's how you say that. Let's see. It doesn't give us a pronunciation. Anyways, the soul eater is supposedly able to consume an individual's spirit, causing a wasting disease that can be fatal. In the Hausa belief, the desire and capacity for the practice termed meta is rooted in special stones kept in a person's stomach. The trait allegedly can be inherited from one's parents or could be acquired from an existing practitioner. The soul eater can take the form of a dog or animal in pursuit of his practices. Now, one thing we know is a lot of these demons, a lot of these angels can shapeshift. They can transform, right? The book of Enoch says this, and the Bible, right? We entertain angels unawares, right? Or to entertain strangers because you may be entertaining angels unawares. So, okay. Another belief about soul eaters, or did I read it? Okay. Another belief about soul eaters is that they are men who were cursed by witches and have to eat the souls of humans to live their lives. Okay, that's interesting. Some elements of the Hausa form of belief in soul eaters survived into African American folklore of the United States and that of the Caribbean region. Related beliefs can be found, and what's interesting, right? This type of stuff is around the Caribbean and China, Africa, continents and stuff like that. Whereas, I am against your pillows, voodoo, stuff like that. Where you hunt the souls to make them fly. So. Nah, I don't need to read the rest. You guys get the point. Hold on. Oh yeah, okay. Some traditional religions, including the ancient Egypt and the Chickasaw, Choctaw, and Natchez of North America, contain figures whose names have been translated into English as Soul Eater. The concept of Soul Eater also exists in Greek mythology. These types of mythological figures, however, are spiritual and not human beings, and so are distinctly different from Soul Eater as conceptualized by the Hausa and some others. Interesting. Now we're going to see these demons, or these evil spirits, smiting each other. So, the book of Enoch, chapter 88, and I saw one of those four who had come forth first, and he seized the first star which had fallen from heaven, and bound it hand and foot, cast it into an abyss. Now that abyss was narrow and deep, horrible and dark, and one of them drew a sword and gave it to those elephants and camels and asses. Then they began to smite each other, and the whole earth quaked because of them. That's interesting. That's that same thing here was going on, right? Or right here. No, not right there. Oh no, that's after this. Never mind. Okay. So we have them smiting each other, and this is why. Like we have this in chaos as well, right? Where demons are fighting each other and eating each other and all that stuff, right? So let me find it. So, and on the day of the great judgment, and the whole earth has been corrupted to the works that have been taught by Azazel. Okay. Proceed against the beast turds and the reprobates, and against the children of adultery, we'll just say, because that's what that word means, and destroy the children of adultery and the children of the watchers from amongst men, and cause them to go forth. Send them one against the other, that they may destroy each other in battle. For length of days shall they not have. So, God turned them against each other. So, and you'll see this happening where they're all battling each other. You know, the Lucifer and Baal story, right? Baal comes up, destroys Lucifer. And by the way, Lucifer is a man. It literally says it in verse, Isaiah 14, chapter 6, or verse 16, literally calls him a man. Also, Hallel bin Shahar. Shahar is a Canaanite god. And I don't believe Satan is the son of a Canaanite god. Lucifer would be the son of the serpent that we just read. So, okay. Now we're bringing it back to Warhammer 40k lore. Okay. So this is from Echoes of Eternity. I haven't read the book, but this is some of the research that I've done, kind of an excerpt from that, and then we'll get into the demon that's talking about here. So, it's near the end, when they are on the last wall, where you get Cobb and Hawes POV, when he was stripped of power and sent into the waste, being hunted by former weaker demons than he. Where he takes them down, it feeds upon them to grow stronger. Okay. Cobb and Ha is a greater demon of the blood god Korn, known as a bloodthirster. Cobb and Ha is recognized as almost the most powerful and most feared of the blood god servants, and he played an important role during the events of the Horus Heresy, when he became the enduring nemesis of the Primarch Sanguinius and his Ninth Legion. He was also responsible for the destruction of the majority of the Tyranid High Fleet Leviathan after the formation of the Great Rift in 999 in the 41st millennium, during the devastation of Baal that saved the Blood Angels chapter of the Adeptus Astartes, his most hated foes, from annihilation. Cobb and Ha was determined that only he, and he alone, would be afforded the pleasure of bringing the sons of Sanguinius to their final ruin. All right, guys. So there you go. We have this Cobb and Ha guy eating other demons and taking their energy. And I know there's weapons that can contain demons, right? And it's actually like that in the real world too. You hear it all the time that these spirits and stuff like that are attached to this, this rock or whatever in this symbol type thing, right? So that's interesting. And so basically, you can necessarily destroy them, but when you destroy them, usually they just become the warp again, right? So you're not necessarily destroying them, or unless you eat them and take their energy, or you can put them in a container, I guess, per se. But technically speaking, you can't really destroy them, you know, because then they'll just be part of the warp, anyways. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you guys for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day.